Welcome back to the next mind map analysis. This time, we will try to understand enterprise environmental factors. This is a very high importance level these days because the environment in which the projects operate, they have become very unpredictable. So, an in-depth understanding of the factors that can impact the project outcomes positively or negatively. Proactively, we should be able to understand this. Then we can become better project managers. What is enterprise environmental factor? That is the factors that will influence the projects. The influence can be positive or negative. For example, suddenly a new technology comes in and that makes the cost of production lower, then it is a positive thing. At the same time, a new technology has come in and that is going to affect our project, then that is a negative impact. So, factors that will influence the project either positively or negatively comes under enterprise environmental factors. Factors that affect the project positively, we should be able to leverage it. Factors that affects the project negatively, we should be able to manage them properly. Again, enterprise environmental factors can be logically divided into two. That is the internal factors and the external factors. Examples of internal factors, it is the organizational culture. Before we start a project, we should be aware of the culture that exists in organization. Some organizations, they'll be promoting centralized decision making. Some organizations, it could be decentralized decision making. So we should be aware of the culture of the stakeholder. When I say stakeholder, we have owner is there, contractor is there, subcontractors are there, suppliers are there. So we should be aware of the organizational culture of these entities. Then we should know the organization structures. Each of these organizations, and within the organization, even divisions within the organization, may have will definitely will have organization structures. So if we understand the organization structure of our organization as well as other stakeholders, then it will help us to manage our projects proactively. Then organizational process assets. When we say organizational process assets, uh, for example, if I'm doing a project with a large MNC company, they will definitely ask me to follow their processes, their quality management system to manage the projects. In such scenarios, I should be I should know the organizational process assets like quality management systems, the proprietary technology, uh, the lessons learned, data from the historical projects. All these things becomes organizational process assets, maybe reusable components. If I've done a similar project in the past, I can always take the plan of that similar project and then customize it, which will considerably reduce my planning time. So, an awareness of these things will help us to optimize uh, our projects. Then, the infrastructure availability. Will we have sufficient power? What is the width of the road? Uh, what about uninterrupted power supply? What about water at the site? What are the other infrastructure facilities available? Do we have a water tank there? etc., etc. Then internal stakeholder influences. So once we identify the stakeholders, when we say stakeholder, it can be anybody who has an interest in the project, and the interest can be positive or negative. So some stakeholders can be very powerful, some stakeholders can be of lesser power. So we should be aware of internal stakeholder influences so that we can manage the project proactively. Then another example of internal enterprise environmental factor is risk appetite. When we say risk appetite, some organizations are they can take a higher risk. They are okay in risk taking, whereas some organizations are risk averse. They don't want to take any major risk. So this factor also will help us to manage projects effectively. Again, these are all examples. We should be able to add more to this. Now let us move on to the internal stakeholders. When we say internal stakeholders, examples we have government and regulatory requirements. Example, so if I'm constructing a house in my panchayat here, I must be aware of the procedures to be followed or which is given by the panchayat. Then before getting into a project, I should be aware of the market conditions and industry standards. External stakeholder influences. Primarily, we are talking about competitors, suppliers, etc. Then external dependencies and uh, constraints. For example, if I'm starting a project in South India, a construction project, I should not plan it in the months of June, July, August, because that is the rainy season. So that is a constraint. Uh, so, so these and I should not start a project in December in the USA because people will be on leave. Ramzan time, I should not start a project in the Middle East because people will be fasting, etc. So I must be aware of these things. I must be aware of the labor laws. So these are all examples. Then geopolitical factors. So this is also very high importance these days, geopolitical factors, because war, cyclone, pandemics, these are all becoming very frequent stuff these days. So a pandemic is a wrong example. Political stability, war, etc., comes under geopolitical factors. Uh, Climatic changes comes under geopolitical factors. Then socio-economic factors, the financial stability of the region, the societal norms. Is it a peaceful place? What is the stability of the government in that region? Uh, how is their finance? Is it on the upward trend or downward trend? So an awareness of enterprise environmental factors will help us to avoid or manage many majority of the negative risk. At the same time, this will also help us to leverage positive risk to the advantage of the project. So thank you very much for watching this video.